Viewer note: this story is purely fictional and intended for entertainment purposes only. However, some content may be disturbing to certain audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Chapter 11. The Mysterious Message. It was December 31st, 2026. The morning light hadn't quite chased away the cold yet. I rubbed my eyes, fumbled around on the bedside table, and grabbed my phone. The moment the screen unlocked, boom. It was like someone had set off a string of firecrackers right in front of my face. Every single one of my usual messaging apps, all of them had a bright red notification badge glowing on their icons. Numbers flashing, some in the teens, some in the 20s or 30s, like they were practically begging me to open them. What the hell? I muttered, still half asleep. I tapped the top one without thinking, and a message popped up. The content? Well, it was weird. Humanity, you have, through your own strength, eliminated the major obstacles of the old world. I frowned. My first thought, is this some kind of spam ad? I exited out, tapped another app. Same message. Tried a third. Same words. Almost word for word. Who sends something like that? A mass broadcast? A system-wide hack? A virus going off everywhere at once? But it didn't feel like any of those. I kept reading, and the more I read, the more confused I got. The message talked about things like the 4th generation civilization of Earth, how the first 3 were all destroyed by human greed and mutual slaughter, how the human body was actually capable of living up to 500 years, how advanced technologies were being hidden by a few criminal elements, how Earth's resources were more than enough to support everyone, and even stuff like there are different levels of higher consciousness among humans, some high, some low, and some who aren't really human at all. There were also takes on the nature of money, redefinitions of resource ownership, hints about civilizational ascension. I blinked. Man, I said under my breath, this is crazy. Just then, my phone vibrated. It was my buddy A. Kwang calling. Sounded like he'd just mainlined 5 espressos. Yo, did you see it? You got it too, right? You mean that alien text message? I joked, though I had no idea what the hell I was talking about. Yeah, it's everywhere. The whole world got it. The internet's going nuts, A. Kwang blurted out, talking a mile a minute. Did you see the news? Governments are talking about it. They said they can't trace the source. It just appeared. Out of nowhere. At midnight. What the actual F? I scrambled to open my news app. Sure enough, breaking headlines were rolling across every feed. Global mysterious message. Stuns the world. Source unknown. Governments confirm. Not sent by any human. Experts analyze. 4th generation civilization. 5 key alerts. I froze. From downstairs, I could hear noise. People talking, shouting, the usual morning chaos. I walked over to the window, pushed it open. A blast of cold air hit me, but I didn't care. Down below, by the breakfast stall, a few early rising neighbors had gathered, phone screens glowing in their faces. Old Wang, did you see this thing? What's it saying? My grandson read it to me, something about people living to 500 years old. A chubby old lady in a thick down jacket said, voice rising with skepticism. Nonsense. Old Wang, who sold fried dough sticks, scoffed as he flipped patties in his sizzling oil. Immortality pills, huh? If they really existed, those criminals they just locked up would have been hoarding them. But hey, he added, I heard old Zong's kid works at the Science Institute. Got called in last night. Still hasn't come home. Phone's off. The vegetable lady chimed in. Who cares about that? I'm more interested in what they said about number 4. You know, food, housing, healthcare, stuff everyone should have a right to. Nobody should be allowed to hoard it all. She nodded firmly. That part? That makes sense. Those rich bastards jacking up housing prices and drug costs, it's about time someone fixed that. Whoever sent this message? I think they're good people. Good people? Old Wang snorted. Good people don't just sneak messages into your phone without you knowing. Not even the Five Eyes Alliance can find the source. Sounds creepy to me. Creepy, sure, the old lady said, leaning in closer, voice dropping to a whisper. But you know my neighbor's kid? The one who's always gaming? He said at midnight. All his screens flashed blue for a second, and then this message just popped up. Like, haunted, or something. Scared him so bad he didn't even dare turn off the lights. Back on the phone, Ah-Tiang was still going. Yo, you still there? The internet's losing its mind. Some people say it's God showing up. Others say it's aliens. Some conspiracy nuts are saying it's a super AI from some secret group, trying to wake up all of humanity. What do you think? I stared down at the phone, at those few lines of text. Calm, simple, direct, and yet utterly mind-blowing. Then I looked out the window. Down below the noise, the sizzling oil, the smell of fried dough, the cold morning air, and the Sunday, just barely poking its way out from behind the clouds, casting a thin, stubborn beam of gold across the icy edges of the buildings. The criminals of the old world had been judged, executed, their remains still fresh, and already a new shock had arrived. No one had sent it. No one had controlled it. It had appeared, globally, simultaneously, in every language, on every device. The kind of tech or power that did that, it was far beyond anything humanity had ever known. The fifth point said, money is just a tool like a weapon. It shouldn't be used to create conflict. So then, what about this message? Was it a weapon, a tool, or a test? I don't know, I said quietly into the phone, voice a little dry. My eyes, though, they couldn't look away from that light. All I know is the judgment. It's over. But it feels like this is only just beginning. Out on the horizon, the sun climbed higher, pushing upward with quiet, stubborn force, painting the world, this world that had just been through so much, with a single fragile beam of hope. And somewhere, out there, or maybe right above us, the answer, the next clue, the real beginning, was hanging in the air, like a star that hadn't yet ignited, but was about to light up the sky.